Hello, boys and girls of Meadowview. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Ed Robinson. If my last name sounds a bit familiar to you, that's because I am married to Mrs. Robinson, who is a second grade teacher there at Meadowview. I wanted to thank Miss Janney for setting this up and for inviting me to be one of the community guest readers today. I really wish that I could be with you in person to share and read my book aloud to you, but that's not possible right now. But I have a very good feeling that we're very close to being able to turn the corner and get back to our normal lives where we'll be able to see our friends and our family whenever we want. We'll be able to leave the house and go wherever we want, go back to theaters and shopping malls and bowling alleys and restaurants. We'll be able to take family trips and vacations without worrying about whether we might get sick. We're not quite there yet, but I have a very good feeling that we're close. Now, what I'll tell you is Mrs. Robinson will come home and she tells me this quite often about what an amazing job you've all done adapting to this situation. You've worn your masks, you followed the social distancing rules. You guys are doing a great job and keep it up. Now, before I start sharing with you the book that I've chosen to read, I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. So, what is it that I do? So, I am what's called an attorney. Attorneys are also called lawyers. So, I'm a lawyer, I'm an attorney. And I work at a law firm in Brookfield called Cannon and Dunphy. It's not that far down the highway from Economawalk. And I'm in my office right now, and I spend a lot of time here actually. Now, sometimes people will say, what is it that lawyers do? And that's a great question, but it's really hard to explain or come up with a definition that would apply to all lawyers. And that's because there are so many different areas of the law, and therefore so many different types and kinds of lawyers. And so some of the areas of the law would be there's environmental law. Those lawyers are concerned about protecting the environment, making sure our lakes and rivers are kept clean and the air quality is kept clean. And so there are lawyers that work for the DNR, and there are lawyers that help businesses make sure they're complying with all the environmental laws. There are also lawyers that practice in immigration law. And so those lawyers help people who are trying to relocate here from another country, or a company that wants to bring workers in from another country to work here to make sure that they're allowed to be here in the country. Those lawyers will help families that are trying to adopt a child from overseas, from an overseas country. So those are immigration lawyers. Um, there are also lawyers that deal with criminal law. Criminal law involves a situation where someone has broken the law, committed a crime, or alleged to have committed a crime. And so you have lawyers that represent the state that are prosecuting those folks, trying to hold them accountable. And then you'll have lawyers on the other side that represent those that are accused of crimes, because sometimes those folks actually are innocent and they didn't commit the crime. And so they need a lawyer to help prove their innocence. So those are criminal law lawyers. There are also lawyers that help corporations with mergers and acquisitions, where one company wants to sell to another company or acquire another company. And there's also the area of civil litigation, and that's what I do. So I practice civil litigation. Now, what is civil litigation? As the best way I can explain it is, we try to resolve disputes, arguments that come up between parties. And what I do a lot of is represent folks who are wrongly injured because someone has violated the rules. And so, what do I mean by that? Hopefully, none of you are out taking mom and dad's car out for a drive because you're way too young. But when you get older and you get old enough to get your learner's permit, you're going to have to study what are called the rules of the road. And the rules of the road are the rules that we all have to follow when we're out driving on the streets and highways, so that we are safe and we're not going to be causing accidents. So what's one of those rules of the road, for example? Well, those signs that have that weird shape and the octagon shape, and they're red and white, and some of them say stop. What is that? It's a stop sign. And so what do you have to do if you're driving a car and you come up to a stop sign? Well, you have to stop your car. You can't just drive through it. You have to stop. And not only do you have to stop, but you have to wait there before pulling out. You have to make sure there's no one on a bicycle, or there's not a person trying to cross the street in the crosswalk, or there are no other cars in the area before you can pull out into the intersection. That's one example. Another example, when you're driving down the road and you come up to a red light, what does that mean? Well, red means you have to stop. Green means you can go, but red means you have to stop. And another example, speed limit signs. And on city streets, the speed limit is pretty low. It's 25 miles an hour. And why is it so low in a city street? And that's because there might be children or people walking about, and so you want to make sure that that cars aren't going too fast, so that if they see a person or a ball come out into the street, or a person on a bike, that they have enough time to stop and not hit them. So those are examples of rules. And so I get involved because, unfortunately, there are times where people are not paying attention, or for whatever reason, they don't stop at a stop sign, or they don't stop at a red light. They go through the red light, or they're speeding and they end up causing accidents. And so when people get hurt because other people aren't following the rules, I get involved to help them resolve that dispute that they have. So now that's more than enough talk about me. So now I want to start sharing with you the book that I've chosen to read. Okay. So I hope you enjoy it. The book is called What Do You Do? Oh, let me hold it up. What Do You Do with an Idea? And this book is written by Kobi Yamada, and it's illustrated by May Beeson. One day, I had an idea. Where did it come from? Why is it here? I wondered. What do you do with an idea? At first, I didn't think much of it. It seemed kind of strange and fragile. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just walked away from it. I acted like it didn't belong to me. But it followed me. I worried what others would think. What would people say about my idea? I kept it to myself. I hid it away and didn't talk about it. I tried to act like everything was the same as it was before my idea had showed up. But there was something magical about my idea. I had to admit, I felt better and happier when it was around. It wanted food. It wanted to play. Actually, it wanted a lot of attention. It grew bigger, and we became friends. I showed it to other people, even though I was afraid of what they would say. I was afraid that if people saw it, they would laugh at it. I was afraid they would think it was silly. And many of them did. They said it was no good. They said it was too weird. They said it was a waste of time and that it would never become anything. And at first, I believed them. I actually thought about giving up on my idea. I almost listened to them. But then I realized, what do they really know? This is my idea, I thought. No one knows it like I do. And it's okay if it's different and weird and maybe a little crazy. I decided to protect it, to care for it. I fed it good food. I worked with it. I played with it. But most of all, I gave it my attention. And my idea grew and grew, and so did my love for it. I built it a new house, one with an open roof where it could look up at the stars, a place where it could be safe to dream. I liked being with my idea. It made me feel more alive, like I could do anything. It encouraged me to think big and then to think bigger. It shared its secrets with me. It showed me how to walk on my hands. Because, it said, it is good to have the ability to see things differently. I couldn't imagine my life without it. And then one day, something amazing happened. My idea changed right before my very eyes. It spread its wings, took flight, and burst into the sky. I don't know how to describe it, but it went from being here to being everywhere. And it wasn't just a part of me anymore. It was now a part of everything. And then I realized what you do with an idea. You change the world. What do ideas become? Big things, brave things, smart things, silly things, good things, things like stories, artwork, journeys, inventions, communities, products, and cures. Everything you see around you was once an idea. So, what will become of your idea? Now, that's up to you. So, I hope you enjoyed that book, What Do You Do with an Idea? Now, the reason I chose that book is because it has a very positive message. And so, what that book is telling us is it's okay for you to dare to dream big. You can do anything that you set your mind to. You all are capable of accomplishing great things if only you believe in yourself, and even if others may not. So you're going to go through life, and there are going to be the naysayers and the Debbie Downers. They're going to be the doubters, but don't listen to the doubters. Instead, listen to your inner voice. Don't let anyone tell you you can't accomplish your dreams. You can do anything you want to do. So thank you for letting me share that book with you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope all of you have a great spring break coming up and that you all continue to stay safe. Bye-bye, folks.